Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Jason's gaze quickly met Elizabeth's as Aidan opened the door for him at her residence. It had been more than 2 years since Jason and Elizabeth had spoken to each other. As Elizabeth talked to Jason, who thanked her for coming to his arraignment, she gradually started to grin. Elizabeth gave Jason her congratulations on the dismissal of his charges. Jason expressed regret for not visiting Elizabeth's home earlier. Elizabeth expressed her uncertainty about the reaction Jason might have gotten. "Perhaps now is the ideal moment," Elizabeth said to Jason. Jason claimed that after arriving back in Port Charles, he learned of Bobby's and Epiphany's deaths. Elizabeth received congratulations from Jason on her promotion to chief nurse, and he also mentioned that Elizabeth would make Epiphany proud. "You appear well." "Joyful," murmured Jason. Elizabeth commented that Jason appeared different and praised him. "It's because I am," declared Jason. Jake came downstairs at that precise moment and saw Jason. Jake inquired why Jason was there after Jason greeted him. Jake was upset with Jason for keeping his true identity a secret from his family. Jason expressed empathy for Jake's rage and indicated that if it had been feasible, he would have gotten in contact with Elizabeth and Jake much sooner. Although Jason knew it was a lot to ask, he nevertheless urged Jake to have faith in him. "Would you believe you?" Jason was questioned by Jake. Jason emphasized that he wanted to spend time with Jake, even though he knew he had a lot of things to make up for. Jake kept lashing out at Jason. "I have no idea how long you're going to stay this time, so why would I want to spend time with you? Or even what led you back to Port Charles, as it was clearly not any member of your family, including myself. However, at least you stopped by and had a brief opportunity to play dad, right?" Jake got into a fight. Jason stated that he had no choice but to remain away from Port Charles in 2021, and that he had not intended to leave. Jason acknowledged that he hadn't gone back to Port Charles as quickly as he could have when Jake pressed him. Jason clarified that he hadn't intended to annoy Jake, who yelled at him to get out. Jason agreed to be walked out by Elizabeth. Elizabeth remarked outside the door that she felt compelled to apologize to Jason for Jake's actions, but she also pointed out that it would be dishonest of her if she didn't understand some of Jake's rage. "Despite everything, it's great to see you since I have many of the same questions for you. I never felt that your death was real." Elizabeth remarked, "I'm relieved it wasn't," with sincerity. "Yes, including me," Jason said. Jason went on to say that he was relieved that Jake wasn't hesitant to express his emotions and that he understood his rage. According to Elizabeth, Jake was still a young adolescent and had numerous fears. Elizabeth remarked, "Mostly, he fears losing his father." Elizabeth and Jake talked about Jason after he departed. Elizabeth added that it wasn't good for Jake to be so enraged with Jason as she grabbed for his hand. "Well, I don't think it's good for you to be so okay with this and act all nice to him, like he didn't do anything wrong and everything's fine," Jake replied. Elizabeth claimed that even while she was aware of Jake's pain, it did not justify him snapping at those nearby. Jake questioned Elizabeth about her knowledge of Jason's survival. The question surprised Elizabeth, who said she had no idea Jason was still alive. Elizabeth begged Jake to open up to her, but Jake appeared undecided about sharing his views with her. Elizabeth also said that Jake was free to feel whatever he wanted about Jason, and that his sentiments were important. Jake explained that he felt bad since he had been depressed when he had believed that Jason had passed away, after Elizabeth promised that she would not pass judgment on him. At night, I used to lie in bed and wish I could have one more conversation with him. But looking back, I believe it was better to have a deceased father that you would hear stories from than a living father who just appears to commit crimes, get incarcerated, and have nothing to say to his own family, Jake said to Elizabeth. If Jason hadn't wanted to see Jake, Elizabeth asserted, he wouldn't have dropped by. I have no idea where he has been or why during the last few years. However, I simply noticed how he was staring at you. Elizabeth stated confidently, he wouldn't have stayed away on his own. Elizabeth continued, saying that Jason was a complex individual. However, he never lies or invents things. Elizabeth said, he may not say much, but everything that comes out of his mouth is the truth. Jake claimed Elizabeth was always standing up for Jason. I am elucidating him. It's not the same, Elizabeth remarked. Elizabeth disagreed with Jake's statement that he didn't think Jason would come up again. He's not going to declare loudly that he loves you and that he is your father. Rather, he will continue to turn up until you realize that's the only reason, Elizabeth informed Jake. When Sonny arrived at the hospital, he was overjoyed to see that Dante had moved from his bed and was walking for the first time since being shot. Although I wasn't present when you took your first steps, I'm currently experiencing a taste of that. Sonny said kindly, this time if you fall, I'll be there to catch you. Shortly after, Dante confirmed in his room that Jason was not the shooter and that Jason had attempted to save his own life. Informing Dante about Jason's employment as an FBI informant, Sonny described it as the worst thing Jason could have done. Jason was dead to Sonny, he continued. Dante doubted Sonny's assessment of Jason. A few months after Sonny was thought to be dead, Jason and Carly got married. Sonny recalled learning upon his return from Nixon Falls in 2021. After then, Sonny said that their relationship had never been the same. After Sonny had left, Dante was taken aback when Jason paid him a visit. On the night of the shooting, Dante expressed his gratitude to Jason for saving his life. Dante inquired as to the whereabouts of the shooter. Jason answered that the man had passed away. According to Dante, Sonny thought Jason was a traitor. Jason vowed he hadn't told anyone about Sonny. Jason shook his head and stated he couldn't tell when Dante inquired who he had notified. With a playful jest, Dante said that the FBI must have had serious leverage to get Jason to comply. Jason stated seriously, "It was something big enough that I had no choice but to take their deal and do exactly what they wanted." Jason became more serious when Dante asked him to swear that it had nothing to do with Sonny. "This has nothing to do with Sonny. He's secure, and I'll try my hardest to ensure that he remains that way," declared Jason. Detective Bennett from the police school visited with Anna in her office at the Port Charles Police Station to talk about Dex's potential to join the PCPD. Anna mentioned that because of Dex's background working with Sonny, she felt good about him. Bennett voiced out that Anna would enlist Dex as a mobster. Bennett continued, saying he was beginning to think that Anna had harbored feelings for Sonny. Sonny would be held to the same standards as everyone else, Anna vowed. Anna went on to say that the police had to particularly minimize Sonny's influence, while also keeping an eye on organized crime. In light of this, Anna thought Dex may shed light on Sonny's organization's workings. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.